Hey Ben.
Jean-Guy, how's it going?
Great. You?
Yeah, the sun is shining. It's typically above zero for us, so it's been.
I believe we're in what they call fake spring.
Yeah, I think so too. We're all thinking it's going to be spring here, and we're going to get smashed again soon, I'm sure. So
Yeah. Well, I'll take the reprieve. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us what's going on in the market, Benny.
Yeah, I guess we could start there because mine's pretty short and sweet. It has not really changed. My conversation over the last almost 2 years now, inventory's lower than it was even last year at this time, and sales are still thriving. They're consistent, and our average list and sale price is up from last year already. So
wow, that's great.
Yeah. There's not much to. It seems like that's the consistent line. It's just been doing its thing, and we're just in an economy where. And in a market, I should say, where it's hard not to like what's out there and the price of our product compared to other provinces.
Absolutely.
And that sort of seems to be the trend that we're seeing. I'm still betting on 1 in 5 of my deals are from out of province. And I don't think that's going to slow down. I just there's BC people and Ontario people specifically. They can come away from a fairly $1 million+ property out there and come here for the same thing for $500,000. So
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's I've had fewer to compare. I've had fewer out of province purchasers. That's not to say that they aren't there.
Right.
They're just coming in with cash.
Yeah, sure.
And they're being reasonable.
Yeah.
With what they're spending on. Like their $1 million property, $500,000 here, they're putting money in their jeans.
Yeah.
And writing a check for the difference.
Yeah.
So those files do make it more challenging for our Alberta residents trying to buy.
Sure.
Since everything is going in with multiple offers.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Yeah.
Everything that's under 400 or 500 has a few offers on it.
Yeah.
Or a backup coming in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that's even like I just did a deal yesterday, a $775,000 property in Red Deer, and we had to compete. So yeah, even at that level, that had a lot of nice options in it, and I can understand why it was competing. Attached triple, detached double. So.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sounds like what Mr. Turcotte's looking for.
Well. Yeah, they're few and far between these days, right? To get a lot like that you can, have that big of a house. But yeah,
great.
So, what do you got going on? Tell us about?
Oh,
I know
man.
the whole. Well,
it's been a couple months since we've done this, and just before Christmas.
Yeah.
But with the Trumponomics in play, it is people don't think that it affects mortgages; they think it just affects goods, but it affects everything.
Right.
So literally today, March 4th, was the day 1 of the tariffs. How that affects rates is it affects the bond market. So they're expecting a more recessionary type of time.
Right.
They're expecting government to come in with what they call quantitative easing, meaning they're going to be putting bond money into the bond market and then in other places to help ease the tension on the consumers.
Right.
So just this morning, what that does to rates, they were down 15 basis points. It hasn't reflected on the actual rates yet, but just since overnight, they've tumbled 15 basis points to a low that we haven't seen since like COVID days.
Right. Right.
So what we'll see, we've got, just to put this in perspective, the 5-year fixed rate. The average one is like 4.24 for a 5-year fix.
Which is pretty nice.
Correct. And there's some a little bit lower than that come with less flexibility, but there's some more attractive rates.
Yeah.
There's even a lender out there that had a 3.99 or 4.04 with more restrictions on it. So it's not that attractive. It's an attractive number, but a terrible mortgage. Anyway, I think that we're going to see if these bond rates stay lower, we'll see those rates just dipping their toe, and the average rate maybe being at the top side of 3%.
Right.
That should be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the flip side, your average 5-year variable is 4.4%, and we're expecting that another rate decrease next Wednesday, March 12th, at least a 0.25 rate cut from the Bank of Canada. There are some specials out there near prime -1, so I can get those rates at prime point, or 4.25% is what I'm working on right now on an insured file. First time buyer with 5% down can get that rate.
Wow.
It's a special that I have with one of my lenders that can offer that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, where we were a year ago at this time, Ben, is a 2% difference on the variable rate. They were in the mid sixes.
Right.
So 6.5%, and then the 5-year fixed rates were 1.7 and 1.8.
Right.
So a 2% difference.
Yeah. Sure.
In 12 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that helps our Albertans buy more,
Yeah.
get more legs in, easier for them to qualify, so that they can compete against the out of province buyers.
Yeah.
So, if anything, we do feel that, I mean, most economists are expecting rates to come down a little bit further throughout the year. If we put politics aside and just looked at the fundamentals and the technicals of the market, we're in a recession.
Right. Sure.
Alberta being the only safe place in Canada.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe parts of Saskatchewan.
I was going to say maybe Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And even Manitoba's in some good positions too. They aren't as affected, it seems like, as Ontario and the East.
Yeah.
But Alberta is one of the best places in Canada for opportunities in real estate, especially.
Yeah.
We still have a ton of jobs here. People are falling over themselves to put in a prop to purchase.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting if that continues. Again, just looking at the technicalities, rates are going to come down a little bit more. I've been advising all my clients to go on variable if they can.
Yeah.
Because we do normally see what they call an inversion. So the variable rate is normally 0.75 to 1% lower than fixed. We're expecting that to come back.
Yeah.
So 6 to 9 months from now, we'll probably be seeing, if everything goes according to this plan.
Sure.
Trump seems to have a lot of chop in his news.
Yeah.
Where there's good news hour to hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you could be up in the morning and down in the afternoon.
Yeah. Sure. No, you're right. Yeah.
It's extremely volatile.
Yeah.
So, but if we just, like I said, put politics aside, rates will decrease.
Yeah, and that's what I've been hearing too. Is if you can hold your cards for a bit longer.
Well, a term that I use with the variable rate is that your variable rate, you're just dating the rate.
Yeah.
You're not married to it. You're just dating it because you're not sure you want to lock that in just yet.
Yeah, sure.
Because when you got that locked in, there's penalties, Ben.
That's a very good way of putting it. That's awesome.
So a lot more people have been dating their rate. It just makes economic sense.
Yeah.
All of the models, when you look at the predictive patterns of what the economists are saying in Canada, their variable rate is the way to go.
Yeah.
Which is putting pressure on fixed rates to decrease a little bit their margins, but which is good too.
Yeah.
But
sure.
next 6 to 9 months, variable rates, and
well,
just be ready for your deals, because if you're a buyer in Alberta and you're listing, you got to have your house extremely ready to go.
Yeah.
And people aren't accepting houses for sale and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or like you can have a house for sale, you're just not getting the condition.
Yeah, exactly.
And then our first time buyers, just be ultimately prepared. Have all the documents in to get your pre-approvals in place from your mortgage professional.
Yeah.
Make sure you have them 100% of your documents.
Yeah.
So that when you put an offer in, we could get your conditions completed in 3 to 5 business days.
Yeah, and that's the problem and challenge I've seen more recently is some people are getting away with like a week financing, and other guys still need 2. So it's like, wow, that's
now,
you know,
it depends on the client. So the better prepared they are, depends on how they qualify. I mean, I could get with a couple of lenders with my long-term and status relationships with these lenders.
Yeah.
I can get stuff done in 3 to 5 business days.
Right.
Again, it puts a lot of pressure on the client.
Yeah.
So it's just got to be prepared.
Sure.
And there's clients that, hey, if you have to go in the alternative lending world, it could take 5 to 10 days, and you got to keep your emotions in check, because it's that market where you find with emotion, but just prepare your emotions.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be another busy year. So yeah, all the best buyers out there, and we'll be here talking about it. So thanks again for listening.
All the best, guys.